The polar vortex is here! Get it? Cause spinning and cold, polar vortex. Anyway, over the past few days, the Midwest has been freaking out about this impending super duper cold weather, this polar vortex coming in, and today, Wednesday, January 30th, that weather has come. And because of the cold and the wind chill here in Chicago, I am here at home and not at work, which means I'm pretty bored. But that's why this video exists. So I thought around on what I could do on such a cold day where I'm basically stuck in my apartment. And I want to be clear, it is genuinely cold outside today. Right now, my phone says that here in Chicago, it is minus 17 degrees Fahrenheit and feels like minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit. That is colder than I believe parts of Antarctica are right now. It's genuinely cold. Today may be one of the coldest days Chicago ever sees. And so I decided that it would be a fun idea to turn boiling water into snow. Now, we've probably all seen those videos where people go outside in just bitter cold conditions with a mug or cup or pot of boiling water, throw it up into the air, and then it magically turns to snow right before your eyes. This is something I've always wanted to do, but I never had the chance to really until now. To make sure that I was doing this at the coldest time of day, right after I woke up this morning, I grabbed a mug of boiling water, went outside, and threw it up into the air. Here is take one. Mug, fingertips, hot. So, not great. I tried again. Here's take two. Alright, fresh boiling water. Huh. Better, kinda. There's a lot more fog, but no snow that I could see. This whole time, I was boiling water in my electric kettle, quickly pouring it into a coffee mug, then rushing outside with my camera to throw it into the air. But, just to make sure that the water was as hot as possible, I tried it one last time, as fast as I could. Fast, not slow. Ow. Again, probably no snow there. And I promise you, it was cold. This is what the weather looked like this morning when I went out and did those 3 shots. That water that I kind of spilled on my hands a little bit made my skin stick to the door handle as I was trying to come back inside, kind of like licking a frozen flagpole. It was dang cold. But isn't it kind of silly that we use boiling water and not something that's closer to freezing? I mean, if you're looking at liquid water, boiling water is pretty much as far away from frozen as you can get. So I tried again, ever the dutiful scientist, with some room temperature tap water. It's very anticlimactic. So yeah, that was way worse. I kind of just watered the snow a little bit. Maybe though, it will grow into a big lovely snow tree. Maybe even a whole snow forest. A snorist. So yeah, I told my supervisor that joke yesterday, and she said it was more of a snore fest than a snow rest. Nobody appreciates my humor. But seriously, when you see all those videos of people turning the water into snow, how come I couldn't do that on, like, the coldest of cold days here in Chicago? 1 word, science. 2 words, physics. 3 words, it was cold. 4 words, but not cold enough. Oh, and 5 words, humidity is also a factor. That's the least catchy of them all. Let's first look at why those videos were all successful. What's actually happening there? Well, 1, they were in very cold weather. I think most, if not all of them, were in places that were colder than it was here this morning in Chicago. Of course, it theoretically could happen at minus 21 degrees Fahrenheit, but we'll get to the Chicago-specific reason later. 2, they were using boiling water. You need to use boiling water. When snow forms in nature, it's not just simply water freezing. It's more complicated than that. Thanks, nature. Snow is made way up in the atmosphere. If you've heard anything of the water cycle before, you probably know that water first evaporates from the ground, turning into water vapor, which is a gas. Then that gas travels up into the atmosphere, where eventually when it gets high enough, it will condense back into a liquid, to little tiny water droplets, and those water droplets collect together to form clouds. Once the cloud gets too full of water, if it's warm out, that water just comes right back down as rain. If it's cold enough though, before it does come down, those little water droplets will crystallize into those lovely, lovely snowflakes that we know. All those successful videos are doing that exact same process that nature does way up in the atmosphere, right down here on the ground. And for that, you do need boiling water. You cannot make snow out of room temperature water. That was never going to work for me, because room temperature water doesn't make a cloud. Boiling water, by nature of being boiling water, is water at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, liquid water turns into water vapor, or that gas. When you take boiling water and throw it up into the air, it makes a cloud. Throwing it up in the air just kind of spreads all those little water droplets around, making it easier for them to condense into that cloud. And I definitely made a cloud. You can see all that good condensed water vapor coming out of my mug. But why didn't it then crystallize? Well, now we get to humidity. Dry air just doesn't keep clouds around for that long. There isn't enough room in the dry air for a lot of water droplets to be condensed and stay around. Wetter air, on the other hand, has plenty of room for water droplets, so clouds can stick around for a lot longer. Think of those little tiny wispy clouds that you might see way up in the atmosphere in deserts, compared to all those thick, nice, delicious, juicy clouds that you see in wetter places. And there's my problem. Here in Chicago, we're right on the shores of Lake Michigan. Because of that, it's just not that dry here. If we go back to the weather conditions this morning, the relative humidity was 62%. In Chicago, there's just enough room in the air to keep clouds around for a while. So the answer is no. The polar vortex cannot turn boiling water into snow. At least here in Chicago. I'm sure there are other parts of the Midwest, they're colder and, more importantly, drier today, where you could throw boiling water up into the air and turn it into snow. But, again, it is colder than parts of Antarctica right now, and yesterday my boss told me not to leave my apartment because she was worried I would get cold and die, so I'm not going to go driving around to find out. But if you are ever in a really dry and really cold place, give the turning boiling water into snow trick a go. Just don't, throw it at your friends, because even if it's super cold and super dry, not all of that boiling water is going to turn into snow, so you'll still be throwing boiling water at a friend, and from what I've gathered in life, that is not a great way to keep your friends around. Stay warm out there.